keeps giving me some messages. Welcome to Faith-Led Living and Faith-Led Healing. I am live on both channels at the same time every Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And today, I'm going to try to keep it together. We're going to talk about the value of having animals through our journey. You know, with Faith-Led Living, we have animals on the homestead. We had meat rabbits, we had chickens, we had milk goats, we had a horse. What else do we have? Dogs. We had a duck that thought it was a chicken. We had a guinea hen, just one. He was like an alarm system. Here on the homestead, we have chickens. We had 3 dogs. We now have one. We put one of our dogs down, I think it was 3 years ago, and we had to put my copper down on Saturday. Saturday was a very unexpected day, but it was anticipated. She was 13. She was a Rhodesian Ridgeback, and they usually lived between 8, 9, 10 years. So 13 was a tremendous year for her, age for her, and she was an amazing dog. She was purchased. I purchased her, or retrieved her, I should say. We were gifted that dog. Oh, thank you, Miss Lori. Welcome. And it's all good. You know what? I'm looking at it this way. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday were very difficult. A lot of realizations surfaced. But the whole time, I'm really looking at it in the regard that I was blessed with 13 years with one of the most tremendous dogs. And a lot of the realizations came in all the roles she played for me. But thank you. I really appreciate that. You know, they become part of the family. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is because I know there's a lot of people that don't. Our fur babies bless our lives, right, Laura? I know they really do. And I know we bless theirs too. They are a gift to us. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, that is their sole purpose. The vet said to us, you know, that is their sole purpose, to just be man's best friend and to really, you know, nurture us. And I know there's a lot of people that don't purchase or get pets or animals because they don't want their children to go through that kind of suffering. But it's part of life. And I think that when we go through it in a healthy way, that, you know, it's a blessing in that we understand the blessings of the animal, the people. You know, it's a realization. We come from the dust and we go to the dust, you know. It's just a part of life. But I feel, and no shame to anybody if that's the decision you've made, is to not have animals, because you know, you don't want to put your children through that, or yourself. But you're missing out on one of the greatest blessings. And it's really important to mention the value of animals, and I'm going to get there in a second. But I was gifted this dog. A friend of a friend posted pictures of these little Rhodesian Ridgeback puppies, and my husband wanted one in the worst way. And you know, I didn't want to spend $1,200 on a dog. And I reached out to the friend of the friend, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're so cute. My husband really loved one of them. She goes, do you want one? They're free. And I'm like, what? They were purebred Rhodesian. And the reason that it was offered, Shelley says, I'm so sorry. I had to put our cat down in the past year. I know how you feel. She was 17. Yeah, it's difficult. It's really, really difficult. But man, the blessings that we receive from these animals, and I've had other pets, but and Rambler was a tremendous dog. You know, he impacted me as well. But these 2 dogs, man, they played such a role. Protectors, my healing journey. But I ended up getting this puppy for free. My mother-in-law and I and my son, we went and we drove much of the day. They were from Wyoming, but we met somebody in Washington about 4 hours away. But it ended up being an all-day affair because they kept having issues with their vehicle. But she was purchased for my husband, and I purchased her got her during hunting season. And, you know, normally we're all out hunting. We live off the land, so we all are filling our tags so that we have that good, wholesome, non-GMO meat. And I relinquished my role that year and took care of this puppy, and this puppy just bonded with me. And she was by my side from that point on. And it was just such an amazing blessing. And, animals aren't just pets. There are so many opportunities to nurture ourselves and our loved ones with animals. Horses are so in tune with people, and people on the spectrum or that have anxiety, depression, PTSD. There's lots of therapy animals out there that um, is just a tremendous opportunity to really nurture people that are in need. And then you also have your service dogs and your care dogs. I met a woman, I'm trying to remember where I was when I met her, but I know where I was. I was at the homesteading conference in Coeur d'Alene on their very first year, 2 years ago. And she had a dog on her back in a backpack, and he would alert her when her blood pressure was dropping, or her blood sugar. It was her blood sugar. He just knew. And I know a lot of people with dogs like that. Then you have my friend who has another dog for service, to help her get around and to support her. Um, they're so valuable. You also have dogs that are great for protection as well as protecting the other animals on the homestead. Um, but the animals are so nurturing, and not just our dogs. Our chickens were a riot to watch. They are just so funny. And then our duck that thought it was a chicken was even more funny. Um, and I had encounters. I mean, I could tell you guys so many stories, but we had our goats too, and we had somebody, we live very remote, so having people walking on foot and a big group of people coming on foot was very weird. And we ended up having people walking through, and the goats and my dogs were fighting to be closest to me to protect me. So I get out there to find out what's going on, and I've got 6 goats, 3 dogs at the time. It was really funny. I felt like a circus act, but they were all protecting me. Guinea hens are good alarm systems. Yeah, we had one. We were gifted one guinea hen, and if a chipmunk, even a chipmunk, entered his space and his domain, oh my goodness, he was so funny. And they're very noisy, but we had a guinea hen. We had a bunch of roosters too that were really comical. But animals are very nurturing. They're very entertaining. But my dog, I want to really encourage those of you that are on healing journeys to have an animal, a pet of sorts. Even, you said guinea hen, it made me think of a guinea pig, something so simple and so small. I miss having chickens. They are fun to watch, right? They're so hysterical, especially some of them. The foghorn leghorn things are not, the cartoons were pretty accurate. But if you're on a healing journey, you need a pet. They nurture. Their sole purpose is to heal you. When I was on my healing journey, we had 4 dogs present because we were, we took in a family that was living in our guest cabin, and they had a blue pit. And she knew I was sick, and she was hardly eating, she was hardly drinking. Her sole focus was to try to heal me. And when I flew out to Georgia for my surgery, I was gone for almost a month. And at the time, Copper, my dog, was 3. Beautiful brown and black face, big-headed Rhodesian. And this blue pit, when I left to go to Georgia, this blue pit started eating like a horse because she hadn't been eating. She was focusing solely on comforting me and healing me. And then my dog, when I came back from Atlanta, only 3 years old, went completely gray in the muzzle because of stress, because I was gone that long and she didn't think I was coming back. Our animals are so connected to us. And I think I shared last week, when I do my podcast, um, I do the Faith Led Healing podcast, and I also do the Mountain Woman Radio. Mountain Woman Radio is on its 13th season, and she was my guest the whole time, or my cohort. Watched my granddaughter chase her pet chicken Bitsy this past weekend. So cute to watch. It's so funny when they're snuggling them too. Yes, that's awesome, Shelley. But when I started the Mountain Woman Radio podcast, I would just walk my surroundings. As you can see, I'm surrounded by wilderness. It's a beautiful place. It's an Eden. It's really wonderful. And I'm the Patriot Integrative Health Practitioner. I do pack. I carry a 9mm. I carry it wherever I go. We have wolves. We have mountain lions. We have bears. We have mama moose. We also have the two-legged predators. It's just like a spare tire. If you need it and don't have one, you're sunk. And it's just something that we do here as a precautionary measure. We have had wolves within 50 yards of our house. So, it's not something to mess around with. And, I'm always protected. But she took on that role, and she really protected me. And when I would go live on my podcast, she was like right up against me, totally in tune, situationally aware, and very intent on her task. And as soon as I ended and said, God bless, that dog was off and enjoying her walk with me. She was very protective of me. She really looked out for me. And early on, we were out walking one day in a pretty thick area, and we didn't realize there was somebody nearby, and they had started up their four-wheeler. Well, she had been running all over, and she was within a year old. She was still puppy. And man, she was glued to me, and she growled, and let me tell you, I only heard that particular growl a couple times in her lifetime, but it made my hair stand up on the back of my neck. She was a big dog. She was 125 pounds, and Saturday her legs just wouldn't hold her anymore, so we took her for her last car ride, about a 45-minute drive to the local vet, and had her put down peacefully. And the realizations that I had following that, it was a tough day, but the realizations were that, I think I shared this last week. She has been more loyal to me than some of my own family, and she was devoted to me. She was glued to me. But she was part of my healing journey. I was flat on my back for a year, with the exception of being able to walk. If I walked, I felt good. But if I wasn't walking, I had to lay flat. It was really weird. So the doctor wanted me walking 3 to 5 miles a day. So, she and I put on a lot of miles together. I would walk. I felt phenomenal. But then as soon as I got back, I had to just lay flat. I couldn't do anything. And she was right by my side the whole time. Like, she was very devoted to me. But man, I can't imagine what my healing journey would have been like had I not had this dog. I mean, she was just such a part of that and such a nurturer. The other thing that dogs are is they're non-judgmental. We are judgmental of ourselves. We can be our worst enemies, especially on a healing journey when we're limited and unable to do the things that we were once able to do. I mean, the day that I realized something was extremely seriously wrong, I knew that there was something wrong with me. I went to the medical system. They laughed at me. I felt like I was dying from the inside out, and I was. But I had helped my son deliver 3 cords of firewood. I was lifting 85 pounds on a weight bench daily. And that night I got neuropathy in my arms and my legs. And the next morning I couldn't pick up a canning jar half full of oatmeal. That was a little hard on the pride. Unconditional love. Amen, Lori. Amen. Where are you joining me from, Lori? I'm glad to have you here. And that's exactly it. Unconditional love. Non-judgmental. Listen better than anybody on the planet. That dog, it got to the point where she wouldn't listen to me because she didn't know if I was talking to myself, talking to God, or talking to her. We'd go, I if I could have put her on the Harley, she would have been going on the Harley with me too. That's the only place she didn't go with me. But, you know, road trips. I love road trips. That has been something I did from the time I learned how to drive. Back then, you didn't have a phone. You had a map. And that was like a challenge. Like, I loved just driving and seeing new places that I never went to before, and then finding my way back home. And so road tripping was always on my heart. And she and I did a lot of road trips, and loved being in the car. As a matter of fact, she brought tears to our eyes on Saturday because she did stand up in the car. One of the things she always liked to do was to put her chin on the headrest, and especially when I was like if whoever's driving. Lori says, Western New York, Finger Lakes area. Been following your channel for a while. Love you. Absolutely. Thank you. That's awesome. I love you too. And I do. I love my followers. And I'm so glad that you're here. And thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much. And a great area that you're in. We're from Pennsylvania initially. Reach out to me, sister. I was too. Was is the key word. Reach out to me. She says, fighting Lyme. You don't have to be. Reach out to me. Support at faithledhealing.com, and we will talk. Or you can go to my calendar, faithledhealing.com/calendar. I have a free 30-minute consultation. We can go face-to-face and chit-chat. I would absolutely love to. That reminds me also, I do need to jump off of here. I'm trying to keep these 15 minutes, so that'll vary depending on the topic. But I have a coaching, okay, she says, me too, from outside of Philly. Yeah, I grew up in Quakertown area, very remote portion of Quakertown area, and then moved north toward Harrisburg. I ended up leaving from the northern location to come out here. And that's interesting. I worked in Philly and King of Prussia, and yeah, that's funny. Stomping grounds. We have some things in common. But I do have a weekly coaching opportunity coming that will go from now till December for anybody who is interested in bettering themselves. And I'm talking spiritually, mentally, emotionally, or physically. We are going to cover it all, and I'm going to hold your hand, lock arms with you, and encourage you for the next 6-7 months, actually. And it would be an absolute privilege and honor. If you are interested in that, reach out to me at support@faithledhealing.com. It's currently open to my community. You can join my community by going to faithledhealing.com/community. And I will be announcing next week the link for the public to join the coaching opportunity. So this is what I will be doing moving forward. Lori says, I worked in K of P also, lol. That's funny, King of Prussia. Yeah, grew up in Plymouth Meeting. That's funny, I worked there first. First in Plymouth Meeting, and then they moved the offices to King of Prussia. That's very funny, Lori. Ah, that's funny. Now, you take me there, I would freak out. I can't handle the city anymore. I did my time. Now it needs to look like this or deeper wilderness. So funny. But I'm going to close this off here. But definitely reach out to me, Lori, and definitely get an animal. If you are in a healing journey, having a pet has multiple purposes, not just that they're healing and nurturing, but like everybody's saying, they're unconditional love. Their sole purpose is to nurture you and support you. But there's so much more to that. And it also takes our focus off of ourselves. Okay, awesome. Yeah, we've always had dogs. And Shelley says 155 days of 360 of the reading of the Bible. We'll end up reading it twice. That's so awesome. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. That's an encouragement that we had in the beginning of the year in our community. We also have a monthly Bible study in our community. Lots of opportunities for growth, spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical. And let me tell you, it's really important that those three are balanced so that you get physical healing. We have to be grounded in Christ. We have to be mentally and emotionally in a good place. and then we can reach physical healing. We have to believe, we have to desire it, and it all takes getting into the right headspace, which is part of the spiritual, mental, and emotional aspect of things. So get a pet, because having those nurturing animals plays such a role in progression in our healing. I couldn't imagine having walked that out. And I would have walked all those miles. Let me just tell you, I did try joining, got to figure out what Circle is. Circle is just a platform. If you go ahead in again and try by going to faithledhealing.com/community, click on the free link. You just need to create a login, and then it will take you right into the platform, and you will see, it'll take you to an area that says start here, which will kind of walk you through it, because I know it's new for a lot of people. And then you will see a lot of things on the left-hand side that are accessible to you. We have a lot of events and a lot of things. So Lori, this was great. I hope I get another chance. One of the greatest things about going live like this is that I get to meet people. But meeting them face to face, getting the extra touch points and be able to communicate with them deeper and getting to know them. I mean, you guys get to watch me. I don't see you. You know, it's so nice to be able to get to meet, you know, all of you. And it is such a pleasure. That's what gives me so much great joy. That and helping people. So, you know, I made it through without crying. I did a lot on Sunday and Monday. Just real quick, there are trees out here where my dogs are buried that have solar lights put on. I took the lights out of the box on Saturday evening as we were burying copper, and I put them on the tree. They hadn't seen sunlight. It was 7:30, 7:45 at night. They got just a glimpse of sun, and we sit here on the porch, and you can see the chimney behind me here. We have a fire till it gets too dry out here, and we have a fire every night. We sit here, and I'm watching for those lights to go on, because it just makes me happy. You know, we all are quirky, peculiar individuals. We're called to be peculiar. I own that. And I was inside stirring dinner, and Mountain Man said something. I came out, and there they were on, and they stayed on all night. When I got up during the middle of the night, they were still on. And just, you know, simple pleasures, just reminders. That dog is in my heart, but, you know, I was scouring all my photos on Sunday, really, you know, reminiscing and enjoying her. She will never be forgotten. She was ready to go, and it was very peaceful. And that's the other thing, you know, it doesn't have to be a terrible experience. You know, as much as they honor us, we need to honor them, and just, you know, be blessed by them. Look, you know, perspective is everything in every aspect of life. And I just want to encourage you guys to understand that, and count your blessings instead of your struggles. The more we focus on the blessings in our lives, the better life is. So that's my end of the message for you today. So Lori, this was great. And Miss Laura, thank you. I know there's others joining. Thank you guys. And those of you watching the replay, please do join our community. And if you're interested in coaching with me, reach out to me, support@faithledhealing.com. I have a lot more coming this year for you guys. So stay tuned and have an amazing rest of your day. I'm going to go actually in my coaching session now, and then I have an hour-long breathwork session. If you're interested in that, you can get on my calendar, faithledhealing.com/calendar. Scroll to the bottom are my group breathwork sessions. They're absolutely amazing. Lori, that is another really good thing to help nurture the body when you're going through Lyme. It helps to detox, but also calm the nervous system, and help it activates all of the systems. So, all right, you guys, I love you guys. Have an awesome rest of your day. I will see you next week, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Wednesday. God bless.